Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome as we kick off Season 7 of Duo Esports Action. I am your host and play-by-play caster, JC Yeso McDonough, and joining me today for a slate of 4 banger games, my good friend Pablo with the color casting. Pablo, happy Friday. Welcome to the weekend, and welcome to Season 7 of Duo Esports.
Yeah, this is our first streamed game. I am ready to see some action. We're starting out with the IBSG Pawn Sacrifice Blue versus Pawn Sacrifice Red. It's gonna be a good one.
Yes, promises to be a great one. The sister teams here duking it out. We actually got to see these two face off in some of those preseason showcase games we had a couple of weeks ago. It was a very interesting game to watch, and curious to see how things change going in today. If memory serves, I believe it was Pawn Sacrifice Red who is on the blue side today that did take that game. I remember Skylancer playing a very strong Caitlyn. And no surprises then there. The Caitlyn is actually banned away from Skylancer. And anything jumping out to you in the ban phase here as we kick things off?
No, pretty solid bands so far. The only one that really stands out is the Hecarim. I guess they're really trying to neutralize Titan Duff this game. Yeah, first pick Ezreal, Morgana Volley. These are solid picks. Now that Ivern, if that goes through, will be spicy, but I don't want to say anything yet until it's locked in. But for the viewers, Pawn Sacrifice Red is on blue side. Pawn Sacrifice Blue is on red side. Sorry if that's confusing anyone.
It's okay. You know what? It'll probably mess us up too once or twice. So don't worry.
It will. But yeah, Vel'Koz locked in. It can be flexed mid support, but I expect Spike to play it mid with the Nautilus. Yeah, it's basically what they're telling us now.
Yeah. So one thing I do want to mention about the Hecarim is if anybody has actually been watching the LCS playoffs today, I believe they're still okay. So they're going to game 4 right now. I won't spoil the results, but EG has picked in the first 2 games Hecarim top for Huni. And Freak specifically said when they first picked it, he said, this is the strongest champion in League of Legends right now. You can play it jungle or top. He seems very confident that it, along with taking Conqueror, is a very, very strong pick. You can also run Phase Rush on it. So I'm curious to see throughout the day if that Hecarim shows up in draft more consistently. But it looks like Pawn Sacrifice Blue taking a note out of that book saying, hey, we don't want to see this jungler on the board, so they ban it away. Now into the second pick phase, it's going to be the early Jinx pick here, and then they will have counter pick for top lane, I would assume. I'm going to lean towards the Volibear probably going jungle, and they'll give counter pick to Wally here as the Aatrox and Zac are locked in.
Yeah, very interesting comp coming here from Pawn Sacrifice Red, but some out there picks from Blue as well. I'm looking at a more standard lineup from Red, I guess, on the blue side this game, but it definitely looks like Pawn Sacrifice Blue is looking to snowball out of their lanes. This Poppy pick is really good at neutralizing the Zac and the Aatrox, but I mean, it's got to survive, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Poppy should be okay. I'm not entirely sure how that laning matchup works. We know that Aatrox is typically fairly strong, or at least like he goes even in a lot of lanes, and then he hits the mid game, gets access to his ultimate, and can become very, very oppressive. So we'll have to keep an eye on how Wally does in the laning phase. I have to say, overall, I do like the composition that Blue put together here. Seems pretty straightforward. You've got a solid front line with the Poppy and the Volibear. You've got the Hyper Carry and the Jinx and a great mage in the Arya in the mid lane. And you've got a Morgana who's just going to be basically on Black Shield the Jinx duty. So this seems like a pretty straightforward composition, and it looks like all of the eggs are really going to be in the Ice Snort Crayons basket along with Lone Wind, and this could be a fun one. What are your thoughts on the win conditions and the composition as a whole then for Pawn Sacrifice Red?
Yeah, Pawn Sacrifice Red has a really strange win con because you have the backline damage, Vel'Koz and Ezreal, right? They're really going to be pumping out damage from a distance. And Zac has this kind of like dual job of peeling and engaging. It's really up to, I think, for Pawn Sacrifice Red, what Titan Duff's going to do this game. Because I think he's going to set the pace. He's going to get the lanes ahead. And if he doesn't get them ahead, like there's a lot of pick coming out of Pawn Sacrifice Blue. And like if you're Vel'Koz this game and your Zac is ditching you to go engage, you're scared if you don't know where all 5 of their members are in blue, right?
Yeah, I guess the one good thing is that like the Ezreal at the very least can be slippery to try and stay away from things, and then has the Nautilus around to peel. The Vel'Koz though could be in big trouble, right? If the Poppy can get on top of this Vel'Koz, things could get really scary because you get a charge into the wall followed up by a charm from this Ari or a binding from the Morgana, and Spike could certainly get deleted. So the Nautilus is going to be extremely important in these fights because like you mentioned, right, the Zac and the Aatrox, they're going to try to get to that backline, and it's going to be just interesting to see who can get access to the backline. I also feel like the one good thing here is I feel like Pawn Sacrifice Blue has a better ability to fight front to back compared to Pawn Sacrifice Red here. You do have the great long range damage from the Vel'Koz, but I feel like the Jinx and the Ahri are more happy to just take your time and whittle away at that front line and work their way towards the Vel'Koz and the Ezreal.
Mhm. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to win a team fight through blue more than reds. Reds is very just like one dimensional. That could be good though, because if they know exactly what they all have to do, then they'll all just do it, right? Whereas blue requires a
Sure.
little more team coordination. Um, that being said, Iron, Bronze, Silver, Gold League, I think they can still do it. But Morgana picks, Ari picks, Volibear getting in that backline, and Poppy trying to just disrupt as much as she can in these team fights. I like Blue's comp, honestly, now that we've gone over it.
I do as well. I again, it's still going to be a very interesting matchup, and I think you make a good point that while the not even necessarily win condition, but like that strong play of like it's the Zac trying to slingshot onto the back line, lock down the Jinx so that she can get deleted right away. Right, it's a pretty narrow play there, but it can be very successful. If the Poppy isn't back there peeling for the Jinx, there's certainly a big opportunity there. So we'll have to see how things play out. Do want to remind you folks as we get things kicked off here. First of all, make sure to stick around throughout the entire day. Pablo and I will be bringing you all of the action from a slate of 4 awesome games. We're kicking it off with 2 matchups from the IBSGCS, and then we will finish the day with 2 GPCS matchups to close out this Friday night. And obviously, there will be more stream games starting tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific, so don't miss that. If you guys like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, please consider following and subscribing. Those buttons are at the top of your screen. And if you subscribe, don't forget you can use that Twitch Gaming free monthly subscription. You get access to the awesome Subheap channel in our Discord server, very exclusive and cheesy club in there. And we'll give you a shout out on stream if you do so. And just make sure to stick around, guys. We're kicking off just the first game of what promises to be a very exciting, very fun season here at Duo Esports, and it promises to be a good one as we're getting onto the rift for our first game of the day.
Yeah. Checking out the runes, pretty standard runes across the board, nothing crazy. Ari going electrocute. I feel like that's pretty necessary in a lane where you want to be killing this Vel'Koz. You want to be negating all that backline damage as much as you can. Comment from Morg, because she's going a more poke-oriented lane. I'm very curious to see, and we see a lot of pings coming out from Pawn Sacrifice Blue. It looks like they're going for the invade strat. But
I
if you look
actually
at
love it.
if you look at blue side, Pawn Sacrifice Red's thinking the same thing on the other side of the map.
So that's the funny thing is actually just due to the nature of the support picks that these teams have, they actually both have fantastic level 1s. You've got the long range binding from the Morgana to lock someone down. Then you've got the Nautilus, who traditionally starts Dredgeline these days, and then combined with his passive is very solid at level 1. And I love it too. They both ran the same exact invade strategy, and this is what I love to run when I play Clash. You run down the lane to that tri-brush, to the enemy tri-brush. You can wrap wide and hug the wall, and it's very difficult to spot unless somebody has actually stepped out into river to spot it. So it's a very potent invade strategy, and it looks like Red wants to stick around and see if they can pick somebody off. They may catch Wally walking up to the top lane here. We'll have to see. They're going to sit in that brush near Red. The Ahri going to step up here. They got some wards down there as well. So no action at level 1, but I love the ideas, especially because the showcase matches that I casted the other week, it was all just standard line of scrimmage starts from everybody. So I love that we started the season at least with some level 1 invade action. Wally does not seem to realize he was spotted there. He stepped out of the brush as they are trying to steal this red buff. He's going to see if he can get it. He shouldn't be able to. The smite should come through, but he's going to at least be annoying here. What?
And
Wally actually could have gotten
smite.
that.
Not even a smite on that. It's really weird. Now he's late to lane. That's a very interesting choice. I mean, it's either you go for it or you just go to lane and get the lane advantage, right? So that's a bit of a misplay.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was going on there. And this is going to be an early gank. Exhaust onto Skylancer. That's the Dredgeland onto iHuff Paint, and Skylancer flashing away to avoid the dark binding there from I Sniff Glue. And the big boy, the Volibear, is going to have to charge on back to the safety of the tower and recall. So that's kind of rough. He's able to at least get the flash and ignite off of the enemy bottom lane here, but it costs him his flash, and now he's going to be very behind Titan Duff here. Granted, the Volibear is early clear, not too bad, and Zac does not clear very quickly, so he should be able to close that gap, but not the best of starts here for the Volibear after losing his red buff.
Ooh, you see these trades are going pretty okay, pretty even. One thing to note, the Ezreal does have teleport, so I mean, down a combat summoner in the bot lane here really hurts them. So I want to see some more like aggressive bindings coming out from Glue. Hopefully he can hit something, right?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Skylancer is level 2, so he should have his Arcane Shift. That is kind of the standard level 2 take from an Ezreal, so he has at least a little bit of mobility there. But yeah, I think Ice Blue certainly has the opportunity here. And Wally and Roki Doki have actually been trading fairly frequently. Topside, both of them were momentarily below half health after going back and forth a little bit. And Lightning, he's looking for something. There's no ward there. They seem to be aware that he's stepped into that brush, but he's hoping for a good dredge line here.
Yeah, just, Nautilus sitting in a bush gives you a lot of pressure in the lane itself. The Comet's going to spot him out, though. But, yeah, I mean, Nautilus in a bush, we don't see him. His hook comes out really fast. There's really no way to dodge it if you don't know it's coming unless you get lucky, right?
Yeah. Lightning's looking for it now. Black Shield onto the Jinx there as Ice Sniff Glue has the back way, taking a lot of damage. That's heal forced out there. Ice Snort Crayons keeping his support safe there. The Rockets will come through as well. Good binding. That's actually going to make good damage onto Lightning. No Ignite in this bottom lane. We saw the exhaust used earlier, so Lightning will survive, but is using the flash there to get away from trouble. He was scared that that kill was going to go to Ice Snort Crayons.
That was a nice binding to hit, just a counter little bit of damage back. It ended up being a lot more than Pawn Sacrifice Red, asked for at that point. But another fight up here. Gotta dodge these Aatrox.
Wally goes down, gets trapped by the chains, and he will get taken out first blood over to Roki Doki.
Our first streamed kill in Duo Esports, ladies and gentlemen, for the actual season. Let's go. A solo kill.
We made it. Surprised it took almost 5 minutes there, but we got there. All right, first Drake has spawned. It is going to be a Cloud Drake to kick things off, so that guarantees us not a Cloud Soul, which is kind of nice, right? Maybe we get a little more of an exciting, an Ocean or an Infernal to kick off the season here. Certainly would be the right way to start things off. One thing I want to note, I saw the power rankings from Shuno coming out, as he loves to do in the Daily Duo, and he had Pawn Sacrifice Red actually ranked #1 in the IBSGCS, citing big name veterans like Roki Doki, Spike 2929, and Skylancer. Do you agree with that assessment of this team? Are you confident that this may be the strongest team in IBSGCS?
Yeah, I mean, earlier in the showcase we were talking about these teams, and it's definite. There's from the exhibition maps itself. It definitely looks like Red's the stronger team. You can see here the Aatrox winning out another trade yet again. Like, it's only going to get harder for the Poppy if she keeps losing those trades, but I definitely think Red is the team to beat in this IBSG league.
All right, that is going to be Cloud Drake picked up there by the side of Pawn Sacrifice Blue. Just to remind you guys, remember, Blue is actually on the red side this game, Red on the blue side, just to mess with us here. Ice Snort Crans backing away. Morgana not in the bottom lane, had actually roamed up to help take that early Drake, then roamed to mid. So Ice Snort Crans has to be a little careful here. Still sitting on a minor CS lead, up by 5 in the bottom lane as Ice Sniff Glue has arrived back down to this side of the map. One thing to note as well, we talked about the rough early start for I Have Paint in the jungle. He did end up getting 3 buffed. That early gank to the bottom lane meant that he couldn't go and match the red steal from Titan Duff, so he was able to get the first 3 buffs. But the CS lead, not that significant. Only up by 3 here for Titan Duff, and I Have Paint has at the very least had some effect on his lane so far and has secured a neutral objective, so I think he's done a good job mitigating what was not an ideal start here. So this is going to be the aggression. Titan Duff is into the bottom lane. That's the exhaust on the Skylancer right as the Zac steps out of the brush. No elastic slingshot, and they'll be just fine stepping away. Here's another good dark binding from I Sniff Glue, and they are walking a fine line in this bottom lane, but doing a great job of it.
Yeah, solid Gankovoidal there. You can see there is a large CS gap currently in the top side. There's actually a fight in the top side right now with a gank from mid.
Oh, great roam from Lone Wind is going to take out Roki Doki, and that's going to even up the kills. The Aatrox has felt confident bullying this Poppy up in the top side, but not enough vision to spot out the roam from the Ahri, and that is a kill for Pawn Sacrifice Blue.
Yeah, really solid roam. Gave up a bit of minions in our mid lane, but I mean, if you're Pawn Sacrifice Blue, you take those. You definitely want to go shut down that Aatrox, make the Poppy scale higher, and so that she's going to be unkillable at a point in this game.
Yeah, she certainly will get very tanky. Sitting on a couple of cloth armors right now, and let's see, take a peek at the gold here. 1,200, approaching 1,300 gold in the Poppy's pocket, so she should be feeling a lot more confident about the 1v1 when she comes back. I'm assuming it's going to be a Bramble Vest buy. Yep, there's a Bramble Vest, boots, and another cloth armor, so prepping for the Ninja Tabby. Is that's going to be a late, dark, or a black shield there on Ice Sniff Glue. He is going to be able to escape, though, as Lightning has to immediately back away as the teleport has arrived. Wally's looking to secure a kill, flashes in, gets the ult for the knockup. Lightning's in trouble, the knockback, the rocket, and Wally takes a kill there on the Lightning as Skylancer looking to chase back. Able to land the Q, another one on Ice Snort Crans. They're not going to secure the kill on the Ezreals. Whew! He lands one more onto Ice Snort Crans. He's going to survive, but that is a 1-for-0 in the bottom lane.
And, you know, he's looking for this level 6. Can he get level 6? He's going to be able to hit it. Ooh.
So Skylancer has hit level 6. Wally, though, wants to go for the kill. He's trying to lock him down. There's the rocket in it. It is going to land Ice Snort Crans with the kill in the bottom lane. The Ezreal stays too long, and he is punished for it.
That is not what Skylancer had in mind. He was thinking the opposite. He was going to snipe him, but no, he got sniped.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, that's the ult in from Lone Wind. He's going to miss the charm spike, flashing away as Ice Sniff Glue roamed up with the Dark Binding. That's going to be the landed Q from Lightning there, but the Black Shield onto Lone Wind keeps him safe. And the support roams result in 0 kills in the middle lane.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just missed literally every ability. I mean, you're not going to get anything if you miss all that. But, I mean, Flash blown on the Vel'Koz is something, right?
Yeah.
Definitely a win for Pawn Sacrifice Blue in that sense.
Yeah, they're definitely feeling good about that. Feels like both of these teams went, all right, the first 5 minutes, that was a little too quiet. We got to turn it up a notch here a little bit, as there's been kind of continuous action here for the last 2 to 3 minutes. Infernal Drake being pinged there by Lone Wind. It will be spawning in about 30 seconds now as codename Wally up in the top side avoids the sweet spot from the third Q of Roki Doki, and he will continue to duke it out up here. A rough laning phase, down about 30 CS, but just trying to hold on right now. Is this going to be some solid damage from the Poppy? That's going to be the ult forced out of Roki Doki, but Wally's going to be in trouble. He's able to avoid another sweet spot there and backs away. He's about to have the ultimate available as he gets the shield from his passive. He's just going to back away here. Wants to let that ult time out on the Aatrox.
You know, he has the means to kill this Aatrox right here.
He's thinking about it. Oh, that's going to be the charge. He's going to get the stun, the Q, and that is it. The final auto lands, and Wally gets the solo kill on Roki Doki.
Yeah, a bit of greed there from Roki Doki. I don't... Yeah, he definitely shouldn't be going for those plays. He greeted for the pink. He wanted the pink over losing his, but I mean, yeah, the Poppy's got her whole combo, man. Like,
Why would you step up against a wall like that? You're just
yeah,
asking to get stunned, you know, that's the slingshot into mid. Titan Duff isn't going to land that one as Lone Wind able to sidestep the aggression from the pawn sacrifice red juggler. Meanwhile, flashing in his eye sniff glue, misses the binding, but gets the exhaust. That's the chains from eye sniff glue. Skylancer is going to be locked down, and Eye Huff Paint dunks on the Ezreal.
solid play by. Oh wait, we got it all here.
Yep, that is going to be a Poppy just melted there by Spike. He grabs the shutdown. That's going to be Dredgeline landing on a Lone Wind, but a good ultimate to get away from Titan Duff, and that's going to be the passive forced out, and this Zac is going to go down. No help from his team here. He will get taken out. The kill goes to Eye Sniff Glue. The binding just tickling the tentacles of Spike right there, but he will get away, and this should mean Infernal Drake over to Pawn Sacrifice Blue.
That was a solid outplay by Lone Wind there. You see dodging everything, hitting the charm mid-dash. Like, that was a good play. Props to him for that, securing his team the dragon with it.
Yeah, Lone Wind looking very good so far on this Ahri. 1-0-1. Down in CS, we should mention, about 15, or no, to make it 25. Sorry, math. Not my strong suit in the afternoon. But down CS, but has a kill and an assist under his belt and is only going to get stronger. And, you know, we saw the early roam to the top lane. I would expect to see more of that towards these side lanes over the next 5 to 10 minutes here. Skylancer and Lightning trying to get pressure on this tier 1 tower in bottom lane.
Yeah, the Ezreal not having the best game here. Really wants to get those items faster. Curious to see if he's going to go the Iceborne or if he's going to stick for a Trinity Force build here. It's hard. I'd probably go Iceborne here. I think your team has enough damage with the Zac burst and the Vel'Koz, and you really need to get this Volibear and this Poppy off. We have another fight top. They're just going at it.
Yeah, Wally's starting to feel more and more confident here. Has the finish Ninja Tabby, has the Bramble Vest, as well as a Sheen. So it looks like most likely an Iceborne Gauntlet going to come out of the Poppy as well here. No surprise, a fairly common buy for her in AD matchups on the top side. But I agree. I think the Iceborne Gauntlet is probably better. You've got an Aatrox to bring quite a bit of AD damage in this game, and then you've got Spike with plenty of magic damage there. So I feel like the kite ability and the safety that you get from that Iceborne Gauntlet probably very key for this Ezreal's. Eye Huff Paint is going to eat the entire ultimate there from the Vel'Koz, but being at full health, he's going to be just fine and able to walk away from trouble as Skylancer continues to throw out as much poke as he can at the blue bottom lane.
Yeah, nailing all these skill shots now from both the Morgana and the Ezreal. I mean, they not really doing anything off of it, but just showing that they can hit those.
Definitely looking solid here. Lone Wind continuing to clear out in the mid lane, trying to close this CS gap, but hasn't really been able to. And actually, did he just launch away the blue buff, or did it? Yeah, he did. Oh, he stole it. Wait, I can't see. Flash from Wally? Oh. I'm so confused. That is going to be tightened up going in here. The Q from Wally. He's got collapsed on, though, by Roki. Doki and Spike's going to finish off the kill as the Ezreal ult comes flying through the blue side. Okay, so he launched away the blue buff there.
Yeah, so
and
used the Poppy ult to launch the blue, saw the pink, and decided that he's going to clear the pink right under the Zac's nose. Vel'Koz was right there because he's going to go get the blue anyway. So, I mean, when you're Wally there, I mean, once you hit that blue away, you just take the fact that you delayed them. But here's another play. Oh, jeez.
Well, that's going to be the ultimate there onto the Ahri. The knockup's going to go up, but the Dredgeline didn't land earlier, so Lone Wolf can actually just walk away. Another great binding there. That's going to be the charm onto Spike. Here comes Lone Wind with the shutdown onto the Vel'Koz, and now Lightning has to run for his life. He's going to get the Dredgeline under the wall, flashes away to the safety of his tower, but down goes the Pawn Sacrifice red mid laner.
Another failed gank from Lightning. I don't think that's really bad if you're currently Vel'Koz right now. You know, kills just keep going over to this Ahri. She's going to be a menace, especially how Lone Wind's playing right now. Like a solid Ahri showing right here. I'm nervous to see how this Vel'Koz is going to survive this late game if it goes there.
Yeah, I mean, if Ice Sniff Glue continues to hit all of these bindings, it's going to be big trouble for Spike in these fights. But we'll have to see. Again, Lone Wind looking to roam towards the bottom side. I have Paint with the sweeper going to spot out a ward in the river. He'll clear that out and head towards his blue, most likely to be handed off to Lone Wind. Meanwhile, Roki Doki, he wants to fight with Wally again. The chain's going to lock him down for the moment. Wally's taking a lot of damage here, but Roki as well. I think Wally's going to have to back away. He does have the Keeper's Verdict available, but he isn't going to use it quite yet. Just looking to clear out that wave and return to the safety of his tower.
Yeah, I think this Poppy needs to figure out their trades a little better. Oh!
Wally's dead. We're going to the bottom lane, but I think Wally's dead. Ice Snort Crayons, meanwhile, getting a lot of damage on the Lightning. The Nautilus just getting shredded there, and Ice Sniff Glue's going to take the kill. Meanwhile, in the top side, codename Wally did, in fact, escape from trouble there. Meanwhile, Spike trying to throw some damage over the wall here at the Drake pit. Mountain now spawning, so it is a Mountain Soul this game, and with 2 Drakes under their belt, Pawn Sacrifice Blue has their eyes on setting themselves up for Soul Point.
Not the word. Oh!
Charm missing from Lone Wind, and it draws out the ultimate there from the Vel'Koz. Meanwhile, the teleport has arrived from the Aatrox. Titan Duff, though, is on the backline all by himself. He does not have the damage to deal with it, and a Lone Wind going to be able to force him into his passive. But Spike, 29-29, and Roki Doki haven't arrived. That's the flash in for the knockup of Roki Doki, and down goes the Morgana. Lone Wind dead as well. Blast going to keep Ice Stork Crayons alive momentarily, but it's not enough. A double kill for the Vel'Koz, and Pawn Sacrifice Red punch back, and they've got their eyes on the Drake.
Yeah, really solid engage from Titan Duff there. Completely just keeping the entire team together. Spike and Roki coming in to finish him off. That was solid. Knowing that he had the Zac passive up so that he could survive even after getting down to 0 HP. That was a really good fight for Pawn Sacrifice Red, and a really good way to get back into this game for them.
Such a great job from Titan Duff to just keep that backline locked down near the blue buff. He knew he had the support coming in the form of Roki Doki and Spike and even Skylancer late in that fight, and he bought just enough time, and it almost felt like the passive, they just, Pawn Sacrifice Blue couldn't let that kill go. They wanted to take down Titan Duff, but it ended up costing them more than they would take in the fight. Meanwhile, Wally up on the top side again, going for the charge here onto Roki Doki. Will be able to walk away from trouble. And it's a dead even game. I mean, just 400 gold separating these teams.
Yeah, first turret taken by Pawn Sacrifice Blue. Surprisingly, at like 19 minutes, first turret taken. That's usually, I mean, no teams are really going for Herald this game, but normally you would try to take those turrets a little before, try to get more turret plating, but yeah, I mean, low gold game currently for 20 minutes. So we're going to see... Hopefully, teams start realizing that Herald is an objective they can go take, but it's gonna despawn soon.
Yeah, it's gonna be too late to grab the Herald, so that objective will go untaken in this early game. Which I don't know. I would love to have seen at least one of these teams try to go for it, but they really haven't even turned an eye towards that area of the map. They've kind of left the top lanes on an island for the most part here. As Wally going to be able to charge out of the chains there, avoid getting locked down, and that tower very close to going down as we have a brief pause here at 20 minutes on the nose, actually, interestingly enough.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could just look at some build paths right now. Aatrox went Death Dance first and is currently finishing the Black Cleaver. I normally like to go Cleaver first, especially against high armor champions. So I disagree with his build path, but I mean, he's going to get those 2 items eventually. Iceborne Gauntlet for Poppy is interesting. I think it could work with the ranged auto attack, applying that slow.
Mm-hmm.
Iceborne Gauntlet build by the Ezreal, like we said, like we talked about. Definitely agree that was the move. And honestly, the most surprising thing here right now is the Shurelya's from the Morgana. I like to go the Zanya's first, playing as Morg, because you can make more plays when the Zanya's, like the stasis is on a cooldown and not just a one-time thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Shurelya's is fine, right?
And I mean, I would assume Ice Sniff Glue is probably feeling better about the Shurelya's rush, given the fact that she actually hasn't used the stopwatch yet, so still has that activation in her pocket and can start working towards the Zanya's Hourglass right now. Just waiting for these teams to sort out this pause, and then we will get right back into the action. Just want to remind you folks again, if you guys enjoy the show, if you guys enjoy the action, want to see more of it, please consider following and subscribing to us here at Duo Esports. Those buttons again are at the top of your screen. And if you want to join our community, come in and hang out with the players, the casters, the staff, and everything, hit !Discord in Twitch chat right now. We'll get you the link to our Discord server. You can come in there, hang out with all of us, see things like the Daily Duo, some of the fun content that we do in there, and just be a part of the Duo Esports community. So consider doing that. As we kind of take stock here, and honestly, funnily enough, a perfect time. The game will come on pause right now, but I want to take a moment before we get back into some more action to take stock of the first 20 minutes. We were very confident in Pawn Sacrifice Blue based on the draft. Do you feel like in the first 20 minutes they have delivered on what we thought of them as? I'm going to have to stop you. We're going to get some action to the top side. Rokidoki, he's going to activate the ultimate, but he's caught by the charm. Does he have the sustain? Wally trying to keep him locked down. That's not going to be enough damage to kill the Ahri, I don't think. He's getting so much sustain, but the Keeper's Verdict sets up the kill. Wally takes him down as the tier 1 tower in bottom lane will fall.
Tower trade mid as well, so I mean, not as in favor as blue as you'd think, but still a kill, a tower for just a tower. And more here.
Yeah, Volibear's down here. That's the flash into the binding. The chains onto Skylancer. The Soul's Shackles lock him down. Snort Crans will take that kill. The Zap's not going to land onto Lightning, but Paint just trying to lock down the big boy. The Rocket will land, and it's a double kill for Snort Crans as here comes Pawn Sacrifice Blue.
What a play. All around the map, just victories. You can see the mid roamed up top, jungler came down bottom, and just 2 successful ganks. And there's even more here. Morgana stalling the Zac. Doesn't really do much with it, but still a win for them now.
So I want to go back to my question, and you kind of have to ignore the last minute and a half that we've gotten to watch. But through the first 20 minutes, are you happy with with what Blue has done with their composition to set themselves up for success?
Yeah, I think their comp does really well in the early game. They got the 2 first dragons. I think the 3rd dragon they could have definitely avoided losing. So maybe if they're looking back on this game, definitely figure out where that went wrong and what to fix up for the next game, right? In terms of the matchups, I mean, the only thing that didn't go like as well as I would have liked was the Ahri Vel'Koz matchup. You can see Spike now is very ahead in both gold and probably damage. So I think if you're blue, you look at it as a success, but you would have liked it to gone better.
All right, well, they can definitely lean on the small lead that they have built so far, about a 1,700 gold lead. It's actually about the exact difference between the mid laners' gold, interestingly enough, is Wally and Rokidoki up on the top side. That's going to be the ultimate activated there from the Aatrox. Meanwhile, the laser is going to take down Snort Crans in the mid lane. The Morgana gonna have to run, but isn't going to escape. That's a double kill for Spike, as he is a very big boy. Meanwhile, topside, Rokidoki trying to escape, but he just doesn't seem to be able to take down this Poppy any longer, and Pink gets up there to help secure the kill.
Yeah, more kills around the map. 2 kills went mid lane, though, and 2 more kills on this Vel'Koz, who has 2 items finished, and let's see, 2,500 in the bank. That is gonna be a very scary, and another pick.
Wow, Wally there and Paint just disrespecting the 3-man squad of Pawn Sacrifice Red. They walk right through that brush. Immediately, the Poppy gets melted by Spike there. He's now 7-1-1, 2 items completed. And if I take the peek at the gold here, he's sitting on 2,800 gold right now. So he can almost buy a full item when he returns to base. He's going to grab a blue buff here. That is a very big Vel'Koz.
Yeah, I mean, only problem here is I really wish that if you're Pawn Sacrifice Red, you would try to stall out this dragon so the Vel'Koz can get items. But I mean, if he's strong enough now, if his ultimate is coming up, like, man, it's risky, but I like the play that they're doing, actually.
They do secure their 2nd Mountain Drake here, so both teams tied at 2 on the Drake count. So we aren't going to get any sort of soul for at least about another 10 minutes here. So we've got some time until that is an objective to go for. But I would imagine every Drake, essentially, for the rest of the game is going to be heavily contested by both of these teams. Nobody wants to give away Mountain Soul. It's already hard enough to kill some of the tanks on these teams, and you don't want to make it any more difficult by giving away that soul. It's now a 200 gold lead here for Pawn Sacrifice Red. So they have regained the lead, but it is very minimal here. So 25 minutes in, interestingly enough, going into this game, even pre-draft, right? I don't think a lot of people would have been saying, hey, 25 minutes in this game, it's probably going to be dead even. I think a lot of folks would have said Pawn Sacrifice Red should be feeling really strong. They should have a significant lead at 25 minutes. But seems like Blue has come out here really to prove something, that they're not going to lay down and die at the hands of their sister team, and they're going to give them everything they've got.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like scaling, there's definitely some options through a victory for Blue, right? But we have a pick right here on the Morgana.
Yeah, Ice Sniff Blue in trouble. He is going to eat a lot of damage here. He's going to go down. Titan Duff's going to get that kill, but I Help Paint immediately trying to dunk onto the backline, but Spike is going to survive for now. But that's the rocket, and this is a very excited Jinx just free firing onto this front line. Lone Wind with the kill onto Lightning, and they're looking for Skylancer. The zap is going to miss as the Arcane Shift gets Skylancer away, but that's Titan Duff charging in here, but they can't get onto the priority targets. Lone Wind flashing away. Down goes Roki Doki. That's another kill for Ice Snort Kranz. Titan Duff has come back from the passive, but that's a double kill. And the Jinx is excited once more, looking to chase down the Ezreal. The zap will miss as the Arcane Shift is up once more, but it's a 4-for-1 in favor of Pawn Sacrifice Blue.
Wow, and a massive Zaki coming in completely negated by Codename Wally's E on his Poppy. What an actual play to save his team from utter disaster.
That play just falling apart as Ice Snort Kranz remained nearly untouched the entire fight, and Lone Wind went low but was able to just juke around those important spells so frequently. Baron is going to go over to Pawn Sacrifice Blue, and Wally's actually going to get the kill in the 1v2, taking down Skylancer, and everything is coming up Blue here in the late game.
Wow, good. Wally not giving a damn about these kills right now. He doesn't even care if he dies for team to get the Baron, but he still outplays. Oh no. Glue dodging everything, never mind. But yeah, I mean, Baron now on Pawn Sacrifice Blue. The only source of wave clear really from Pawn Sacrifice Red is this Vel'Koz. So I mean, what do? Do you just siege tower straight up? I mean, I think you look for a flank, right? I think you looked to dive with the Volibear, get on this Vel'Koz. The Vel'Koz did go a bit of a greedy build with a Death Cap third item. I mean, I'd be getting a stopwatch pretty soon here, but we have another pause coming in.
Yeah, looks like they just had a brief disconnect for Codename Wally, but I believe he is back, so we should have this unpaused pretty quickly here. One thing I want to note, and I think it is important you mentioned that ideally they probably want to get a flank, right? And you've got a Poppy with Teleport who, granted, Teleport not currently available, but if the Poppy can get a great Teleport flank, she is so good at locking down those priority targets if she can get in on the right side of a fight, and can certainly set you up for success to take out Spike. But I think the hard part about that is they've yet to even take the tier 1 in mid lane, and that significantly hampers your ability to set up some of these flanks and get these ideal fights. So I think their first task needs to be knock down the tier 1 in the mid lane, get more access to the Pawn Sacrifice Red side of the map, and then go from there. The waves being cleared out fairly well here by Spike. This tower should go down as that's Wally charging in onto Lightning. The charm is going to land, and it's actually the flank from iHelp Paint. He's onto Spike, and the rocket will take him down. That's 3 dead on the side of Pawn Sacrifice Red, and they're going to follow up one tower with a second as they're shoving in the mid lane.
Yeah, like just like we said, like there's really no way to just straight up siege these turrets. You gotta dive, you gotta use that Volibear ultimate, disabling the turret, just making it basically an open playing field for fighting. Solid job from IF Paint to get on that Vel'Koz. That really, in essence, saved the team fight for them.
Yeah, Wally going in early and locking down the Nautilus seemingly drew a lot of attention there. And as soon as he did that, Huff Paint comes out of the Pawn Sacrifice red side there with the flank, jumps immediately onto Spike, sets up the kill, and the Super Mega Death Rocket again from Snort Krantz. He continues to land almost every single one of those, and it secures the kill. And now they're looking at Drake here. Drake should be up momentarily in this game, and that's going to be a big fight for these two teams.
Yeah, and I mean, this Jinx is getting just as big as his Vel'Koz now. 3 items, 3.5 items completed. I mean, these resets are really changing these fights pretty hard, but let's see what they do.
Oh, what a keeper's verdict there from Codename Wally. He said, get out of here. We aren't giving you a shot at the steal. And that is now a setup for Soul Point. So the third Drake secured by Pawn Sacrifice Blue. And things are getting really interesting as we approach the 30-minute mark. It is now a 5,000 gold lead for Pawn Sacrifice Blue.
Yeah, it is getting to that point where you can, like, one more large team fight can end this game. You know, Jinx can if Jinx survives, Jinx can push down towers really fast. There are a lot of towers already taken on the map. I mean, if you're Pawn Sacrifice Red, you really want to get this last outer turret right on the bot side of the map. And if you're Pawn Sacrifice Blue, you want this last inner turret on the top side of the map. So, I mean, do you meet them to fight them there? Do you take and trade it? I mean, it's just standing gold, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're in a tough spot right now as Pawn Sacrifice Red, right? You were, we mentioned it a minute ago, right? You were still holding on to your tier 1 tower in mid. So you're thinking, okay, we still have actually great map pressure here. Even with the Baron buff, we have an ability to kind of try and stall this out. But as soon as that fight goes awry, you lose 2 towers in the mid lane, and all of a sudden the map is just littered with Pawn Sacrifice Blue wards, and the map is just slowly getting darker here, and it's going to be rough. And again, I think it still can, holds on, can the flank come through for Pawn Sacrifice Blue, but they've shown so far that they are up to the task, and it's going to continue here. They're starting to set up some vision on the Pawn Sacrifice Red Blue side of the map here, as Baron still should be a couple of minutes away, but they're trying to get more vision control and just choke out Pawn Sacrifice Red.
Yeah, this Wally on Poppy is getting in this dangerous state where Poppy becomes near unkillable, especially with this Ezreal going the Iceborne build, not able to cut down with the Conqueror. I mean, the win cons for Pawn Sacrifice Red are fading, and they need to figure out really fast how to get back into this game. This Jinx has almost 4 items completed on this back, probably going to complete this 4th item. I'm assuming Bloodthirster. Like, Ezreal only having 2.5 items, trying to get that Death Stance as fast as they can, but this is getting very dangerous, if it already wasn't.
It really just feels like at this point, if you don't kill the Jinx, you're going to lose a fight. Because if Snort Krantz is able to stand there and continually fire away, he sitting on 4 items now, right? Just finished the Bloodthirster. That Jinx is extremely strong, hitting that hyper carry point. And if you don't kill him, he will just shred through your entire team. It doesn't matter how long it takes him, he will take everybody out. So if they can kill Snort Krantz and keep Spike alive, they should be able to win fights, but that is no easy task. Baron soon to be up here. Blue buff should be secured here by Spike. But the entire Pawn Sacrifice Blue team is here looking to fight, and they're on to Lightning now. He's having to back away. That is the Big Bear jumping towards the backline. Lightning should fall here, but that's the Poppy shredded. Meanwhile, Titan Up trying to get onto the backline. Snort Krantz able to get back over the wall thanks to the Blast Cone, and the Zac taken down. He has his passive available, and they have to back away, so he should be able to survive. Meanwhile, Roki Doki trying to get onto the backline. Huff Pain is low. Lone Wind flashing away. Snort Krantz still alive, and Skylancer wants him. That's a good binding on a Roki Doki, but the Jinx has to be careful. Sap will land. Spike's on his way. He's very healthy. Can they land the spells? Lone Wind's in trouble. He gets the Black Shield, but he goes down. Huge kill for Skylancer. Now they're on the Snort Krantz. The Aatrox is very low. He locks down the Jinx, but goes down. Meanwhile, Huff Pain gets the munch on a Titan Up. He's having to run away from this very big bear. He's going to slingshot back in. Huff Pain staying alive. Here's the Jinx. That's a rocket and a very excited 80 carry. They're going to back away. What a fight from these two teams.
Wow, I saw Crayons on this Jinx is looking very good, weaving in and out of these fights at the exact moments where he needs to be. Just popping
He's
out
about to
so
have Rocket
much
up, by the
damage.
way. Skylancer is low. He's about to have Rocket.
Does Rocket kill here?
Dude, it might. He's sitting on 4 items right now. It chunks. Oh! Skylancer with the True Shot Barrage. He says, I see your Rocket. I'll raise you this one. Keeper's Verdict going to miss, but Ice Sniff Glue taken out. Skylancer, beautiful ultimate there to secure the kill.
Yeah, we have Dragon coming up soon. I don't think you go for this Baron. I think you go set up for this Dragon Vision. You need to not let Pawn Sacrifice Blue get this Mountain Soul. That's going to be really hard for Spike to get through that defense with his 1-burst combo of Vel'Koz, right?
I mean, we already saw how difficult it is for them to kill I Huff Paint. He hasn't died yet this game. And even the Poppy going all in onto the backline, locking people down, it still takes a while to get through her health bar. And if you add Mountain Soul on top of that, it just makes your job that much more difficult. Wards down for Pawn Sacrifice Red. Pawn Sacrifice Blue late to the party here, but they are very, very strong. And we are almost guaranteed to get a 5v5 team fight here. That's the Slingshot on to the Drake. They have vision of it.
I Have Paint is real low here, but I guess they're going to go for the fight anyway.
This is risky. He's going to try and get in. He's going to ult into the mid. He secures it. The Smite Steal gets the soul for Pawn Sacrifice Blue. They're trying to get on the backline. That's the laser over the wall. I Have Paint's going to go down. Lone Wind dashing over the wall here. Beautiful charm there onto Lightning. Going to lock him down. Ice Storm Kranz firing away, and he is now excited. The support is dead. It's a double kill. He's looking for more. Skylancer having to back away. Ice Storm Kranz again weaving in and out of the fight. The Rockets will secure the kill. It's a triple for Ice Storm Kranz. He's looking for more. Trying to chase down Spike. Zap's going to land. One more auto. It's a quadra kill, and he wants Roki Toki. He doesn't have summoner spells. Can he land the zap? The minion wave is in the way. He's looking for it here. Roki Doki's not going to get slowed. He's just able to dash out of the way, but it's a 4-4-2 in Mountain Soul and an inhibitor to Pawn Sacrifice Blue.
That was almost our first pentakill. I was ready to go crazy for Ice Storm Kranz right there. That was an amazing, amazing positioning. An amazing W from Wally. Once again, negating this Zac completely. Such an amazing pick from Pawn Sacrifice Blue. You got to think, if you're Pawn Sacrifice Red, how did we let that go through, and why is it so damn effective?
And I think what we have seen over the last few team fights is what we highlighted when we finished draft. And it's Pawn Sacrifice Blue can fight you front to back much better. They have been able to just be patient, focus on shredding through the front line, and then worry about the carries. And Ice Storm Kranz doesn't care. If you're close to him, he doesn't care how tanky you are. He is going to take you out, and it showed very clearly in that last fight. Baron secured again here for Pawn Sacrifice Blue, and they are set up to try and close out this game.
Yeah, and full build Jinx now, finishing that, what item is that called? Mortal Reminder. I was thinking Last Whisper. Mortal Reminder, so cutting down on even more of the healing that the Ezreal and the Zac and the Aatrox going to be popping off. This Jinx is just massive. Look at that.
Yeah, Ice Storm Kranz has arrived, is the, the final form, the hyper carry here. A full 6-item build, 13, 2, and 7, almost at 300 CS, and add a Mountain Soul on top of that, the Baron buff as well. And this is quite the performance here. And I do want to give credit where credit is due, right? We talked a lot about Ice Storm Kranz's ability to weave in and out of fights, but there also needs to be credit to iHuff. Paint has done a great job weaving in and out of fights as well, buying so much time and space as the frontline Wally for sure. And Ice Sniff Glue has done a great job of keeping Ice Storm Kranz safe. Well-timed Black Shields, beautiful bindings to set up kills, and then Lone Wind as well. We talked about it earlier. The scoreline, not as sexy as the Jinx, but has had some very key roams, beautiful charms in these fights. So it's been really a top-to-bottom team performance from Pawn Sacrifice Blue.
Yeah, no, they've been playing very well as a team. Like we said, the only way that you get hard wins in these team fights is if you shut down this Vel'Koz, and the members that needed to do it, I Have Paint, Wally, and Lone Wind, have been doing exactly that. But it looks like we have a pick here on the Nautilus.
Yeah, Lightning going to get caught out. That Nautilus going to get shredded. It's going to be a 14th kill there for Ice Storm Kranz as there are mini waves just spilling into the Pawn Sacrifice red base. Codename Wally here backing away, uses the Keeper's Verdict. He missed, but it doesn't matter. The rest of his team shows up to escort the Poppy back to safety. They're going to secure a third inhibitor here, and nothing but a couple of towers in the Nexus stands between Pawn Sacrifice Blue and a victory to start Season 7. Codename Wally going to take a lot of damage here, eating tower aggro as I Help Paint is in. Both of the Nexus towers have disappeared. That's the laser, and Titan Duff goes gold, but it isn't going to matter. Ice Sniff Blue into the backline here with the Soul Shackles, trying to lock these players down. Codename Wally's in there as well. Spike gonna get a kill here. They're having to back away. It's a double kill, but Ice Lord Krantz on the other side of the Nexus just firing away, and that is it. The sister teams clash, and Pawn Sacrifice Blue comes out on top.
Wow. Just an amazing game all around for Pawn Sacrifice Blue. You know, I gotta say, I was wrong. I'll admit it right now. I thought Red was going to come out this game on top. Now, while they did have a very good performance, Spike especially, I think I was proven wrong today. I think Pawn Sacrifice Blue has shown that they can take down the top teams in this league, and I mean, in convincing fashion as well.
Yeah, definitely big credit to Pawn Sacrifice Blue. I think they did such a wonderful job playing to the win conditions and working around the strengths that they had. And we talked about it. We're like, hey, a lot of the eggs are going to be in the Iceland Crayons basket. Pawn Sacrifice Blue knew that, played around it very well. I'm curious because I don't want to just throw Pawn Sacrifice Red by the wayside, and that's, I know, not what you're trying to do here. Do you give a little bit of the blame to the draft here? Do you feel like they gave themselves too hard of a composition to play out against what Pawn Sacrifice Blue took?
Yeah, I think the Poppy pick really negated a lot of what Red was looking for. Maybe it was a surprise. They didn't see it coming. But I mean, like we saw, like the Poppy made this Aatrox and the Zac kind of useless in these fights. Maybe changing it for a different kind of engage tool, maybe switch out the Aatrox pick with something else. Like there had to be something that could get to that Jinx. And I don't think Aatrox was the pick. I think Roki played amazing in lane. You know, he got the first solo kill, right? But I mean, out of lane, there has to be that effect transition, right? And it just didn't transition with that champion.
Yeah, certainly was rough as the game played out. As you mentioned, Roki had a great start, but the Aatrox just didn't seem to have the same effect as this game got later. Great game all across the board. Just to take a quick peek at the numbers before we head to a break. No surprises here. The Jinx topping the damage charts, but hey, Spike right on his heels, just about 1,700 damage behind. So really the two big performers they're showing on the damage charts. We'll also take a quick peek, as we always love to, down at the vision score and the control wards purchased. Supports doing a great job. Interesting, both supports up near 100 in vision score. Let me see those control wards purchased. 14 and 15 for the supports respectively. Lone Wind, you only bought one. You could buy more than that. Come on.
Hey, that's all you needed.
Apparently, right? He bought one, they won. There it is.
But yeah, I mean, looking at the stats here, I mean, Pawn Sacrifice Blue as a team played amazing that game. I think each member fulfilled the roles that they needed, but I gotta give my personal MVP to Ice Lord Krantz. I think he was given the role of please carry us, and he said, "Yup, I'll carry you." That's pretty much what just happened here, and I am excited to see more of what Krantz can do this season.
He walked a very beautiful tightrope throughout all of the games there, or throughout that entire game. So quite the banger performance from him. We are going to head to a short break now, folks, but stick around. We've got more duo esports action when we return. Don't touch those keyboards.